Hello, welcome to Critical Idiots. In this episode, we review The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I mean, The Five Bloods. The Five Bloods? The Five Bloods.
There was 5 of them.
Yeah.
Now, who are the 5 Bloods?
Did they make you think of anyone in particular?
So Humphrey Bogart decides to go with an old man to go and find some gold in Mexico. And apparently it's really dangerous and there's like lions and stuff. So anyway, they're hunting for gold in Mexico.
4 Vietnam vets return to Vietnam to retrieve the remains of their fallen squad leader and pick up the trail of gold that they discovered during their service.
It's like us making YouTube videos, a trail of gold.
I gotta say, immediately I found it very heartwarming, the brotherhood in the movie. At least that's an angle that like I'm a bit of a sucker for. Like when they meet in the airport or whatever and they're all like giving high fives and stuff. I was like, yeah!
There was definitely a few moments within this that I quite liked and I found rewarding. Most of it, though, I found really silly, tone deaf.
I think the problem is that when Spike Lee got his hands on the script, it was already complete. But what he did is he fixed it, he changed it, he kind of...
Yeah, Oliver Stone was attached to direct originally.
Yeah, I think this is too much. This is a classic case of, too many cooks spoil the broth. It's not as good as it should have been.
Have you guys ever seen Spike Lee do a lot of action?
I haven't seen any Spike Lee movie.
Well, he has like
Inside
violent...
Man?
Oh
He
yeah.
has a few action
He
scenes.
did
That was
Old Boy.
alright.
Yeah.
He did the remake of Old Boy that I haven't
Oh
seen.
yes,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Oh,
So
yeah.
no.
Yeah. Like his worst movie.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the big flaws that I had. Not only was when I say that I thought it was totally inconsistent trying to have all an action scene and then a drama scene or whatever. You can totally have those. Other films have done that and pulled it off. But none of those, no genre hit. There wasn't a drama scene that I found really compelling. There wasn't an action scene that I found really entertaining.
Oh.
There wasn't really a lot of comedy.
I liked the action.
I just found it really bland and just like them killing 40 million Viet Cong. If you're trying to just be a warm film that's trying to be crazy or whatever, you can go crazy with having fun. But when you're saying war is hell and then having these badass action sequences, so that doesn't really reflect, I think, what you're trying to tell.
I think they were trying to just showcase the solidarity between the group, though, as well. When they were and maybe just showing off the aspect ratios. It's like, look what we've got. we've got many changes.
All of the change in tones and the twists in the story and stuff, while they weren't always the best executed, they were so fun because it was so unpredictable, I felt. And I also liked them as a unit of friends and I wanted them to get through all right. And I don't know, I had a blast. Then there being a sort of thing that despite whatever happens and stuff, we've still got to all pull in and love each other and try to get through this. And I like that. I don't know.
No, I disagree. I don't. I don't like that at all. I don't want to live in that world.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, I felt the heart through it.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
There was definitely an element of heart which I liked. And, you can see before they all split up and get shot to hell. You can see the camaraderie between them all, and it's...
I really felt like I never got to connect with any of these characters too much. I felt like they either had a very two-dimensional aspect to them, like the character who has his estranged daughter that he never met, or the character who who's the rich guy who's paying for all this but actually doesn't have any money. You never develop any of that. It never gets explored. Or the guy who sacrifices himself, and that's about all I remember about him. we only get the conservative Trump character Paul, who I feel like he really gets any sort of development, and that's because
he's PTSD and
and he's the bad guy. Well, sort of turns into a bit of
anti-hero.
An anti-hero.
See, I can understand what you're saying about them individually as characters, but I thought as a group, like the brothers character, if you can call it that, I thought was quite strong, and I really identified with that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Spike Lee is anti-Trump, but he wanted to have a character to balance it out, so it wasn't too one-sided. I think
it kind of beat me over the head with that. It's like this guy likes Trump. This guy likes Trump.
Yeah.
This guy likes Trump. It's very annoying. It's just.
It felt very two-dimensional.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Like,
I don't
in case
feel,
you forgot.
Yeah, it was literally bashing me over the head with it.
I thought overall he was the best character in the film, though. I thought his performance was great when he was
Yeah,
only by
losing it
default.
and stuff.
Yeah, because there's definitely, you'd feel, because there's quite a caliber of like actors here. There's two guys from The Wire.
For years, I've been doing everything I can to help people out when they need me to say shit. People come up to me on the street, in bars and restaurants, on trains and planes, at sports games, and even on film sets, asking me to say my signature catchphrase.
Let's get to the nitty gritty.
All right, let's get into it, everyone.
What in the flashback? So these guys are traveling. These guys are traveling
Yeah.
through the jungle because they did this back in the day, and they've experienced. They know where they've been.
Yeah.
And then we go to these flashbacks.
Yeah. Ready?
We go to flashbacks of the Vietnam War, and they're when we see the story of burying the treasure, and everyone's their friend Stormy Winters,
Played by Chad
Stormy
Wickman.
Daniels.
Stormy Daniels is he's
They turned my son against
Come
me.
on, make your point, please. Just make a fucking point.
and all of them are still the actors in present day are playing the same characters, their counterparts at like 20 years old.
I loved it.
They're all grey
And
hair.
they don't even try and like darken their hairs.
No,
They've
no.
given them like a bit like they've got different haircuts.
Exactly the same.
You're like, excuse me?
Well, I like that it felt like they were reliving the moment, and he died there. He died at that age, and it felt like they were going back. So it wasn't necessary to bring younger actors in.
Actually, that's a good
Oh, well,
point.
thank you.
I couldn't believe that.
I think that was the point.
Yeah. Because they're reliving the situation, right?
But-
It wouldn't hit as hard when Paul has his moment and there's the reveal if it was a younger actor showing it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
I
should
don't
say
know.
it as in for spoiler territory. I just didn't think it was necessary to bring younger actors in.
I just like, keep imagining Spike Lee like saw The Irishman and he's like, too much work. No
No,
way.
he was like, we're fixing it in post.
yeah.
We have the budget. Hey, what?
You're meant to have 3 cameras already? I think you should just do it in the computer.
I saved up for one. This is my camera.
What do you guys think of the landmine scene?
It's just such a like oh shit moment because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, what do you do when you step on a landmine?
Yeah, and you've also just lost a character too. So
Yeah.
you're already thinking it's like, what? You're gonna what? Oh my god!
You're like, so let's avoid that.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. I was like on the edge of my seat,
Yeah, that was a great scene.
and it was just such a good payoff to it. It was such a moment.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Yeah, I would have really liked that scene. I would have liked that scene, but when they just come out of nowhere and they're like, we can hip. That was like, why are they here?
I
What
feel
do you
like
mean?
it got set up that they could pop.
Oh,
around
come on,
later.
but like,
You know, like
they
that
just
was
come
like
out of
that's
nowhere.
obviously gonna happen.
And they were like, we can help, and they were like, oh, we can kill you.
I don't know, man. I was in, but
Oh, I was in it
like,
as
alright,
well.
let's do this.
After that, I'd peaked. I was out.
Oh, okay.
I like that they didn't put too much onto Ellis's death as well. Was it Ellis?
You spend how many years reminiscing on Storm and Norman, and then you forget about this guy in
Yeah,
about
but
10
the son
seconds.
just stepped on a landmine like 3 seconds after that happened.
But they don't give him a moment afterwards too.
yeah,
they
no,
don't
they've
really.
got
No.
adrenaline going. There's like they're surrounded by enemies now.
Was it supposed to be funny, the landmine blowing up?
No.
Oh yeah, I think the visual of him
Yeah.
after it happened was a bit.
It was. I thought it was like reminiscent of Tropic Thunder.
Let's go and make the greatest war movie ever! Yeah! Yeah!
His
Can we
like
say-
limbs look so
Yeah.
fake. They look like they were made with with $50 or something. He was like, whoa!
He's flailing about.
It's like Bishop and Aliens.
Yeah.
See, for me, that's what I liked about it, and like I think Tropic Thunder is a great comparison because I liked that for the similar reasons,
But the
where it's
thing is,
kind of messy.
this
the
is a
tones are all
serious
over
movie.
the place. Let me finish my point.
Oh, sorry.
But it's kind of wild and fun. Like, it's just, you know, like, and the Vietnam War was serious. It's like, you can't really float around that, but the fact that they let it be serious and then have fun with the story in present day, I'm kind of about that.
It's a popcorn film, I would say, but it's also not.
I'm going to give a shout out to the music of the 60s about the Vietnam War. It was pretty great.
I hated the music in this movie.
What?
It was terrible. It was like there was like moments where it was like some Marvin Gaye or whatever, but
Mostly
all
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin.
No. Any time that there was sort of like any score, it was this
the
terrible.
score.
It was like
Okay.
it was like somebody looked up like dramatic music like on some sort of free
Kevin
streaming.
MacLeod.
Yeah, and it was just like these stock clips of dramatic music or action music. It was terrible. It was so terrible, the score in this film.
I only had Marvin Gaye in my head.
On the flip side, the soundtrack I thought was pretty great. I loved all the Marvin Gaye songs. Like, it was most of the What's Going On album was in this
it's
movie.
like a cheat code.
It's like, come on, like, I love What's Going On.
So
music is
lovable.
great.
That was wild building up to a gunfight, and it's like, Mother, there's so many of you crying.
I like that.
And it's like an a cappella version of What's Going On. I've never seen that kind of thing before a shootout.
As I said, I liked its ambition, and I liked its chops. I liked some of the creative direction with the aspect ratios. I liked where this film was trying to go, but I don't know if it ever really got there. But I'm going to give this one a 5.
Well, yeah, so for me, I really enjoyed the camaraderie between all of the main actors. I think the acting was good, although, as has been mentioned, the script was off at times. And also, just humanizing the Vietnamese in that in the film, that was good. I had a lot wrong with the mess of it, as you guys have mentioned, the camp, like, you know, Eli, or is it Ellis? Ellis, when he gets blown up by the landmine, it's a bit out of place and the tone's off. But I'd still give it a 6. I enjoyed it, and I think the message it's trying to pull across is a good message.
The opening shots of actual Vietnam War footage kind of took away from me the whole impact of this movie. It felt disturbing. The movie that followed the traumatic images did not play up to that sort of level. Yeah, it did not reflect the images portrayed, so I don't particularly enjoyed this movie. So if they cut out the images, I would have said this is a fine movie, but for that I'm gonna have to bump it down to maybe a 5.
I feel a bit differently. Like, I understand with the imagery, but I feel like at the heart of it, the Vietnam War was a nightmare. Like, it was terrible, and it shouldn't have happened. It was a crime, and but at the same time, it did turn into a campy action comedy. And I understand that that's tonally inconsistent, but for some reason, it didn't bother me. And I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought the theme of brotherhood and them trying to be loyal to each other and like kind of falling apart as a unit was engaging, and I ended up having fun with the action scenes and whatnot. So I really enjoyed it. There were some huge script problems, and some of the framing on shots wasn't very good, but I don't know, I had a lot of fun, and all the Marvin Gaye songs got me really hyped. And yeah, I'd have to give it a 7. But I don't know if it's necessarily a 7. That's just how I feel towards it.
Yeah, I think you definitely touched well on the idea of how, and we were saying it before, it's tonally inconsistent, that it tries to balance these different genres, but never quite pulls any of them off. And you can clearly see that it's going for quite a few of these different things by having really intense graphic images at the start of the Vietnam War that you've seen before, but it's
still graphic. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And then going down these really sort of silly avenues and really unbelievable cliched moments, I just found it really unengaging and really tiresome a lot of the time. And so I was not very impressed with this film, especially as I've seen a lot better from Spike Lee, both in comedy or in action Yeah, I give this a 4.
There's the all-purpose, the humorous retort. You don't know shit. And when you need the last word,
See, I could tell Owen was going to make this a meme video when he only wrote 3 people's names.
I kept asking for it, but you guys are sitting on the floor.
The Asian lady's dead.
So my name is Jonathan Majors. I play Son in this film.
Tell me the character's name.
His name's Son, dude.
Junior.
Alright,
It was like French woman.